Good day, everyone. Welcome to our video recorded class. So, this is the first topic in our final term, and throughout the weeks, we will discuss or we will talk about statistics. So, the first thing that we need to do or we need to measure in statistics is the central tendency. So our topic for today is about measures of central tendency for the two datas. We have group data and the ungrouped data. For the introduction, a measure of central tendency is a single value that attempts to describe a set of data by identifying the central position. So it means central tendency is more on central position within the set of data. As such, measures of central tendency are sometimes called measure of central location. They are also classed as summary statistics. The mean, or we often call it as average, is most likely the measure of central tendency that you are most familiar with, but there are others such as mean or median rather and the mode. So at the end of these lessons, I hope you will be able to compute the mean, the median, and the mode of a given set of data for both group and ungrouped data. So let's have the meaning of central tendency, or a measures of central tendency is a single value. So meaning to say it's a number that is used to describe or represent a data set. Okay, so as we go into this lesson, we will understand more this topic. So the first one that we are going to compute is the ungrouped data. Okay, so let's have the mean for the ungrouped data. When we say mean, it's the sum of all data values in a dataset divided by the total number of data values. I think this is, as what I've said earlier, mean is the most familiar to you because this is actually using it, you're using this literary in or in your daily lives because it's sometimes or often called it as average. Okay, so this is the symbol for the mean, and we read it as x bar. Okay, so it's like a small letter x with the bar on the top. And this is the formula. So x bar, or the mean for the ungrouped data, is equal to summations of x over all over n, where the summation of x is the sum of all values, and the n is the total number of values. So please take note of the formula. Mean for the ungrouped data. Let's take a look at this example. The following are the ages of selected 8 employees in a company. There are 8 ages. Now, you're asked to find the average or the mean age of the employees. So what you're going to do is just get the sum of all the ages of the 8 employees, then try to divide it into 8. Let's use the formula. So we have, okay. So the formula is x bar is equals to summation of x all over n. So the values of x are 53, plus 32 plus 61 plus 27 plus 39 plus 44 plus 49 plus 47, and then divided by 8. So after you uh, write it down, try to compute it in your calculator. So it's not necessary that you will use a scientific calculator because this is just a simple mathematical operation. Okay, 49 plus 47. So the sum of all values is equals to 352. Then let's try to divide it into 8. So the answer is 44. Therefore, so this is the symbol for therefore, the average age of the employees is 44. So that's how will you describe this set. Okay? So I hope you understand this part. Next, let's have this one. The data show the number of patients in 6 hospitals who acquired an, an infection while hospitalized. So let's find the mean. Same procedure. Write the formula. So summation of x all over n. Write the given data. So this is 110 plus 76 plus 29 plus 38 plus 105 plus 39. So this is all over. How many hospitals? We have 6. Okay. So the sum of all values is 397. Then divided by 6, it's equal to 61 point. Oh no, it's 66.167. Okay, so therefore the mean number of patients is 66.167. So this is actually the mean. It's not uh, necessarily that it's a whole number, but you are just trying to describe or represent the given data. Okay, now let's proceed. Let's have the median. Median is the middle value or the middle term in a data set that has been ranked in increasing or decreasing order. But it's usually an increasing order. The first step in finding the median is to arrange data values in an array or in order. Remember the first step, okay? And then let's follow this formula. So the formula is n plus 1 all over 2, where x and curve, I think curve X curve represents the median, and the n is the total number of values. Let's try, I mean, try to remember these conditions. If the n is odd, for example, 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, and so on, so the median is middle rank. You don't need to use the formula because you need to arrange the data and then try to point out the middle one. That is the median. But if n is even, after you arrange the data, you need to get the uh, two middle rank and then get the average. By the way, the earlier formula is the median or the middle term. It is finding the middle term when you already arrange the data in increasing or decreasing order. Let's try this example. The following are the total receipts of 7 mining companies in million pesos. So these are the values, and then find the median of this receipt. So the first step that you need to do is to arrange the data. As what I've said, to have a common uh, steps, let's always arrange the data in increasing order. Okay, so I think we will start with 1.3 million. So let's cross this out. And then the next one is 4.7, I think. And then we have 6.6. Okay. We have 7.3. And then 10.5. Then next is 12.6. And then the last one is 50.7. Okay? Then let's count. Oh no, it is already given. There are 7 mining companies. It's an odd number, so we just need to find the middle term or the middle value. So if this is 7, the middle one is this, right? So it's 7.3. Therefore, the median of the receipts of the total receipts of 7 mining companies is 7.3. Okay, in mathematical term, we can write it as x curve is equals to 7.3. So that is an example of median. How about this one? The following are the number of years of operation of 8 mining companies. So as you can see, the given set of values is 8. So it means it's an even number. Let's try to arrange the data first. So we have 9, 11, 12, 16, 9, 11, 12, 16, and then 17, 18, 19, 20. Okay, then let's try to find the two middle term. So we have, I think this is the two middle term, right? So to get the mean, let's get the average of the two middle term. So x curve is equals to 16 plus 17 divided by 2. So what is the answer? 16 plus 17 is equal to 33. Then divided by 2 is equals to 16.5. So therefore, the following, the median of the number of years of operations of 8 mining companies is 16.5. Or in mathematical term, this is x curve is equals to 16.5. So that is how to compute the median of the ungrouped data. Let's proceed to mode. I think this is the easiest one for the ungrouped data. So mode is the data value that occurs with the greatest frequency in a data set. It represents the most common value in the distribution. So meaning to say, mode is just if there are given data values, mode is the greatest frequency, okay, in a data set. And this is the symbol for the mode. We read it as x hat, okay. There are different types of mode in ungrouped data. When we say unimodal, unimodal, if the mode is only one, okay. Bimodal, if there are two modes in a given set of data, okay. Multimodal, if there are more than two modes. So there are three, four, five modes. We call it as multimodal. Now, there are some cases when a data set values have the same number of frequencies. When this occurred, the data set is said to be no mode. Okay? So, no mode, it's the data, when a data uh, have the same number of frequencies. Okay? Let's have this example. We consider the heights in inches of the 10 basketball players. By the way, you don't actually need to arrange the data in ascending or descending order, but it is easier for us to find the uh, most frequency or greatest frequency of the data set. So, in this example, in example number 1, 72 is the greatest frequency, right? So therefore, x hat, or the mode of the 10 basketball players in inches, is 72. So easy, right? Next, the data. Oh, by the way, first example is an example of unimodal because there is only one mode. Okay. Next, the data show the number of licensed teachers in the Philippines for a recent 15-year period. Let's find the mode. So this is the data. I think let's count the 104 value. So this is 1, Oh, I'm sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there are 504 value. How about the 109? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, there are 5. So meaning to say the modes are 104 and the 109. So this example is a bimodal, right? So mode is just the occurred value or the most frequency in a data in a given data. How about the third example? The 10 ages of 10 randomly selected students from a class are this and 30 years respectively. Find the mode. Okay, so 21 has 2, right? 22 has 2, 25. Well, let's try to write it. 19 has 2, 22, 1, and 2. There are 222 values. We also have 21. So 21. And the rest has one value, right? So these are the modes. Equal. Okay, the modes are 19, 22, and 21. So this is an example of multimodal. Okay. Our last example is an example of no mode because consider the scores of 15 students in a quiz. As you can see, there are 3 per set of values. There are 3 values per set of the data, set of values of the data. So we can actually say that this example has no mode. Okay, so because there are same number of frequencies in a given set of data. So that is the ungrouped data for the central tendency, the mean, the median, and the mode. Now we will proceed to the group data. Okay, same central tendency, the mean, median, and mode. A measure of central tendency is a single value that is used to describe or represent a data or the center of the data. So this table is an example of group data. So as you can see, in the first column, there are uh, group values, maybe uh, the problem set or the given mathematical problem starts with the age of 11 to 60. So, and this is the tally of how many are there or how many values are there between 11 and 20. And of course, the frequency. So, in a group data, we need to use the frequency table or frequency distribution table in for us to find the mean, median, and the mode. So let's try to solve or complete this table. So this is an example of uh, frequency distribution, And the given are the class interval or the values. Okay, starting from 18 and then up to 59. And then class boundary, midpoint, the tally, and of course the frequency. And the f of x, or you will multiply the frequency to the midpoint. And then the cumulative frequency, or the less than CF. Okay, how are you going to fill out this form, or this table? When we say class boundary, it's the lower and upper boundary of the class interval. So kapag lower siya, you will just subtract 0.5. Okay? And kapag upper siya, sa upper part tayo, you will just add 0.5. So the class boundary in the first row is 17.5 to 23.5. So that's how it goes. Same procedure with the second row. So this is 23.5, 23.5 to 29.5. Then 29.5 to 35.5. Then 41.5. So nakikita yung previous upper boundary sa next lower boundary, 'di ba? So they are the same. 41.5, then 47.5, 47.5 to 53, and then 53.5 to 59.5. So that is the class boundary. Then let's have the midpoint. When we say midpoint, it's the middle point of the value. Okay, how are you going to get the midpoint of the value of the class interval? So, of course, you need to add the class interval. So, 18 plus 23, and then try to divide it into 2. So, the answer is 20.5. So, this is the midpoint of 18 to 23. Okay. How about 24 to 29? So, you will try to add it as 24 plus 29 divided by 2. The answer is 26.5. Okay. Same procedure up to the end. But, there is, I think, shortcut. So, as you can see, there are 6 interval within, for example, 18 to 24. 6 ang pagitan, di ba? 24 to 30, 6 din ang pagitan. Same goes with the upper part. So, of course, the midpoint will add up 6. So, the next midpoint will be 32.5, and then 38, right? 0.5. And the next one is 44.5, then 50.5, and then 56.5. Try to check it using this uh use in using this formula, or getting the average of the interval. Of course, the frequency is how many are there using the tally. So let's get the sum. try to get the sum of the frequency. So I have 22 plus 30 plus 23 plus 12 plus 6 plus 4 and then plus 3. So the answer is 100. Okay, so there are 100 n. So this is the n, right? Now, what is f of x? So fx, not f of x. It's fx. So you will just multiply the frequency to the midpoint. So it's 20.5 times 22 is equal to, so 20.5 times 22 is 451. Next is 26.5 times 30 is 795. Then 23 times 32.5 is 747.5. Then 38.5 times 12 is 462. Then 44.5 multiplied to 6 is 267. Then 50.5 times 4 is 202. And then 56.5 times 3 is 169.5. Okay. Then after that, try to get the sum. Okay. But if you're using scientific calculator, this is much easier. Okay, but it's okay if you just have a normal calculator, as long as you are your inputs are correct. So the answer is 3,094, I mean. So it's 3,094. Then how are you going to get the cumulative frequency? So we will start the first frequency, which is 22, and then try to add the next frequency. So 22 plus 30 is 52. 52 plus 23 is 75. 75 plus 12 is 87. 87 plus 6 is 93. 93 plus 4 is 97. So 97 plus 3 is 100. So the last CF, or last CF, is the total number of frequency. Okay? So that is how you are going to complete the frequency distribution table for us to solve the measures of central tendency in a group data. Okay? The formula for the mean of group data is summation of x. So this is the x bar. Summation of f of x. That's why we earlier we multiply the f of x, the f2x rather, divided by the n. Okay? So these are the steps in computing the mean of group data. Step 1 is already done. because this is, we computed the midpoints of all class limits, which is given the symbol capital letter X. Natapos na natin yan. And then, multiply each midpoint by the corresponding frequency. Ito yung F times X kanina na column. Then, we get the sum of the products of the midpoint and frequencies. Nakuha na natin to. And then, we will proceed to step 4, which is dividing the sum of the total number of frequencies and the size of the data to obtain the mean. So this is the formula. So this is what we did earlier, and this is our formula. The sum or the summation of f of x is 3094 divided by the n, which is 100. So the mean is 3094 divided by 100 is about 30.94. So that is how we compute the mean of the group data. Let's proceed to median. Median, to find the median of the group data, we first determine the median class of the frequency. Okay, so the median class is the class interval in the frequency distribution where the median is located. So yung pinaka-class interval ang titignan natin. And here are the symbols for the formula. So we have the LCB of the median, which is the lower uh, class boundary of the median class. And then we also have the C, which is the class width of the frequency. Ito yung pagitan. 'Di ba? Kanina, I think this is 6, right? So 6 ang pagitan nung mga class intervals. We also had the n divided by 2, where the number of observations will be divided to 2. So this is around, our n earlier is 100. So divided by 2. So around 50 ang ating n over 2. And then the CF, or less than cumulative frequency before the median class, and the frequency of the median class. Let's proceed to the steps in computing the median of a group data. The first step is to calculate the n divided by 2, wherein the total number of observations divided by 2. So, ito yung our n is 100. So, this is 100 divided by 2, which is equals to 50. So, ito yung hahanapin natin sa F. Then, let's construct the less than cumulative frequency. And then, starting from the lower class, ito, i-explain ko sa inyo mamaya. Starting from the lower class interval or class limit, locate the first value of in less than cumulative frequency column that is greater than or equal to n over 2. So the class interval corresponding to that value is the median class. Later on, I will explain this step 2 and 3. And then calculate the median using the formula. Let's go back to the table. So this is our table, right? Earlier, we had the n divided by 2, which is 50. So this is the first step. We are going to locate the 50. Since 50 is in between uh, 22 and 52, so this part is the median class of this frequency distribution. So, nandito siya sa part na yan. Yan. Ito yung ating titingnan. So, yan yung pinakagitna. Okay, because of n divided by 2. And then, let's locate this LCB, and then CF, and then DF. Okay? So, what is our lower class boundary? Okay? So, when we say lower class boundary, if this is the median class, eto siya, yung 23.5. Okay? So, because that is the lower class boundary of this median class. So, 23.5. Okay? Our C is the interval. So, ito yon, 'di ba? Yung pagitan ng mga interval. So, we have 6. The n divided by 2 is 50. This is already given. Then, the CF sub MD minus 1. So, yung less than niya. Okay? Kung ang cumulative frequency natin ay nandito sa 52, yung mas mababa niya. So, ito lang naman, 'di ba? Yung 22. So, the cumulative frequency before the median class is the 22. Okay? And the frequency of the median class. Frequency of the median class. So, eto siya, 'di ba? So, this is 30. So, buo na yung ating given. Now, let's try to go back to our formula and then solve it. So, ang LCB natin, substitute yung mga given lang. So, 23.5 plus 6, right? So, ang n over 2 natin is 50 minus 22, ang ating CF before median, divided by 30. Okay, of course, using the PEMDAS rule, we need to solve first the values inside the parentheses. So, dun tayo sa 50 minus 22, that is 28. Then, divided by 30 is about 0.93. Yan. 0.9333 and so on. Then, let's try to multiply it to 6. The answer is 5.999 and so on. Okay? Then, add the 23.5. I'm sorry, this is 5.59. Okay? And then, let's try to add the 23.5. The answer is 29.09. Okay? So, this is the median of this group data. Let's proceed to mode. Mode from group data in a form of frequency distribution is applicable when number of cases or observation n is 30 or more. So, hindi pwedeng mas mababa sa 30. To find the mode of a group data, we first determine the modal class. So, same ano lang naman ng ungroup data, kung ano yung most or greatest frequency. Okay? And then modal class, the class interval in the frequency distribution with highest frequency. Let's proceed to the formula. Here is the formula for group data. So we need the LCP or lower class boundary of the modal class, and then the class width, which is in our example, it's the 6. Frequency of the modal class, frequency before. So F1 means before the modal class and F2 means frequency after the modal class. So we have 2 steps only. We need to locate the modal class or the highest frequency among the frequency distributions with equal sizes. The modal class and the class interval with the highest frequency. Then let's proceed to computation. Okay. here is our table again. So as you can see, in this column, the most highest frequency is 30. This means that this row is the modal class. Okay? Accidentally lang na parehas sila na median class. But then, this is the modal class because this is the interval where nandoon ang highest frequency. Okay? Then, if that's the case, we can proceed to our let's write the given doon sa ating mga ano. So, ang lower class boundary ng modal class is, ito yun, diba? Lower class boundary. So, 23.5. Ang, ang C natin, or the class interval is 6. The frequency of the modal class, of course, this is 30. Okay? And then, ang before natin, or F sub 1, yung before na modal class, ito, which is 22. And yung ating F2 ay yung after, which is 23. Okay? Then, substitute those given to the formula. So, we have 23.5 plus 6 multiplied to the ratio of F modal class is 30 minus 22, then 2 times 30 minus 22 minus 23. Okay? So, let's try it one by one. Doon muna tayo sa numerator. So, 30 minus 22 is 8. 2 times 30 is 60. Then, 60, pwede na dire-diretso yan. 60 minus 22 minus 23 is equal to 15. Okay? Then, we have 23.5 plus 6. Then, 8 divided by 15 is about 0.5333 and so on. And then, multiply it to 6. We have 3.1999 and so on. Then, add it to 23.5. So, the answer is 26.6999 and so on. So, this is the mode of the group data. Okay? As you can see, medyo mahaba yung mga formula, but as long as you understand the symbols like this and how we are going to find it in the frequency distribution, madali lang naman siya. Okay? Remember, for modal class, of course, of the mode of the group data, yung pinakamataas na frequency. Oh, I'm sorry. Pero yung sa median kanina, yung n divided by 2. Okay? So, that's it. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you learned a lot in this presentation. See you next video. Bye.